now let's go to the idea book. So let's take a little walk down memory lane before we get to that guy. Right here, we have the very first. This was the very first listing with Layle idea book. We released this in 2023, and it was all of our creative lists that we had done 2020, 21, and 2022. So this was a hefty guide. This had about 300 lists in it. So, I mean, these are still available. People order them all the time, especially people that are new to me and start doing their creative listing. So the first listing with Layle idea book we did in 2023. The second listing with Layle idea book we released in 2024, and that was all of our lists that we did in 2023. All right, so what is pretty special about this book or these idea books? You will see something like this in every book. How to use this idea book. Actually, I'll get there in a minute. We have volume 3. These were all of our lists that we created in 2024. We released this one in 2025. So each of these two have about 100 lists. We do about 100 creative lists a year. And now we have volume 4. Volume 4 is completely redesigned. Like this, I mean, all of the books are beautiful. The content is beautiful, but the design of this book, all credit goes to Becky. It takes a long time for us to put these books together. That's just, it's a lot of work going through, getting all the data, the links, the writing all the copy and everything. So back in the fall, Becky said, hey, would you consider maybe redesigning the idea book? And I'm like, sure, give me some, send me some ideas. And this is the result. You guys, it is stunning. So as we look through, look at the table of contents, some beautiful photography. That's my craft room. That's the other side that you never see. That's in front of me versus behind me. You have, this is the page that's important. Well, one of the pages that's important. This page, you will see a version of this in every idea book. It tells you how to use the idea book. And you might think, well, Layle, that's silly. Of course, all I do is look at a list and get inspired. And I say, no, way more. This idea book has way more in it. All of them do. So next to each creative list, you will see 3 things. You will see the date that the list was made during one of our creative listing sessions. You will see a link to the video. So that link would take you to the video on YouTube where I made that list. And then you also have a timestamp. So that tells me that I started making this list in the February 18th, 2025 video at the 2-hour, 07-minute mark. Why that's important? Like if you look at this and you're like, oh gosh, hang on. There is something interactive going on here, because you'll see that little guide will tell you it's something interactive. And you're like, I'd really like to see how she did that. All you have to do is access that link, fast forward to the 2-hour and 7-minute mark. Now, some of you may say, but Layle, you mean I have to type all that in? And I say, no, you don't, because when you purchase this book on the website, as soon as you check out, and some of you know this because you already bought it this morning, you are automatically sent an email from SendOwl. That's a third-party service that I use that sends all this information out with the digital version of this idea book. The reason that's important is because the digital version, that link is hot. And what that means is you can click that link in the digital version and it will take you right to that video in YouTube. It pulls up YouTube, takes you to that very video. You fast forward to the 2-hour and 7-minute mark, and then you start seeing me kind of make that list. All right. So this is a really important page because it kind of tells you all of that. As we continue, how to get started creating creative listing if you're just getting started. There is a free class on my website at laylebymail.com on how to get started creative listing if you want to do that. A little bit of kind of information here about joining me on Saturdays, and we should all toot our own horns when it comes to this. Look at how many lists we have made since we started in 2020. You guys, 622, and that's just through 2025. 622 creative lists, 210 List with Me live videos since 2020, and 698 hours of lives. All right. So that just kind of gives you a little rundown on our Saturday listing sessions. You have all of your listing prompts from 2025. These are organized or grouped by month. So if you, for example, are interested in looking at the lists that we created during the summer, it's really easy to go to June and see those lists. And then you have the corresponding page number next to each of those lists. And then you start jumping into all of your different lists. But you guys, it's just so beautifully designed. I was so glad that I said yes when Becky said, hey, would you consider doing a full kind of redesign on the idea book? And it is just stunning and it's beautiful. And some of you may have already even looked at it this morning, because if you bought the physical version, you already have downloaded the digital version. All right, so there you go. On the back here, you will also see some fun things: free cutting files, free video classes, free sketches, free printables, lots of freebies for you out there.